Just in time for the holidays, starting in November, international travelers will once again be able to enter the United States, but they have to meet some pretty strict requirements. The White House announced today it is lifting the travel bans starting in November. However, those foreign travelers who are flying into our country must show proof of vaccination and a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of travel to be allowed in. Of course, masking and social distancing will also be required, but there is no quarantine mandate. Now, this new policy also requires airlines to collect passenger information, including a phone number and email, to improve contact tracing efforts. Now, unvaccinated American travelers who are coming back home will still be allowed into the country. However, if you're a U.S. citizen and unvaccinated, you need to test within 1 day of departure and then once again after your arrival to prove you're negative. More on these policies will be released very soon by the CDC and the State Department. Democrats versus Republicans, progressives versus moderates, infrastructure, immigration, and oh yeah, a looming government shutdown. You know. Just a typical Monday in Washington. If you've been following me, you know the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill and the $3.5 trillion reconciliation infrastructure bill that some call the human infrastructure bill are hanging over the House and the Senate. Neither have passed both chambers, and both are super important to the president's agenda. Progressive Democrats are saying the $3.5 trillion so-called human infrastructure reconciliation package is a huge compromise already, and the price tag is too low to get the president's massive agenda through. And moderate Democrats say the price tag is too high, and some key moderate Democrats have already said they're not going to vote for it. And the Democrats have zero wiggle room in the Senate, so if one is out, it's over. Of course, zero Republicans have support for this bill. Not to mention the Senate parliamentarian ruled over the weekend a huge part of that human infrastructure package cannot be included. That piece, the pathway to citizenship for certain immigrants, including DACA recipients. That part has to go. As for the $1.2 trillion bipartisan traditional infrastructure bill that passed through the Senate last month, the House is tentatively scheduled to vote on that September 27th. But progressives are refusing to vote for that bill without the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure package. Also, the federal fiscal year runs out on September 30th, and if a budget or a continuing resolution isn't passed by Congress, the government's going to shut down. Now, as always, Congress is going to take this down to the wire. They always do. It's going to be a rocky 10 days, but we may get some answers in the next 48 hours.